Hello, guys. Welcome back to Daily Faith Inspiration. If this is your first video on my channel, then welcome. I hope you stick around and please subscribe. This is the first video of a new series called Wednesdays in the Word, which is going to be a deeper dive into Scripture, basically a brief Bible study. Let's go ahead and get started today with one of my favorite books in the Bible, the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is a collection of wise sayings and poems credited to King Solomon. Now, the entire book of Proverbs was not solely written by Solomon, but Israel's wisdom tradition begins with him. So there are two main themes for the book of Proverbs. The first is being the fear of the Lord. And when they say fear, they don't necessarily mean something frightful or horrifying or something you should be scared of. Fear is referring to having immense respect, as in we should have immense respect for God and for His Word. The second main theme in the book of Proverbs is God's wisdom and how it can apply to our life. The events in the book of Proverbs span over several centuries during Israel's history. It is said that Proverbs was compiled and then later arranged after Israel's return from their exile in Babylon. So Proverbs is divided into basically three sections. So we kind of see it lumped together in chapters 1 through 9, which is several speeches about topics like virtue, integrity, and generosity. Then it goes to chapters 10 through 29, which is a collection of wise sayings all about life. It finishes off in chapters 30 and 31, exploring that fear of the Lord that we just talked about, but personified by Lady Wisdom. There are so many gems in the book of Proverbs and wonderful verses, but I wanted to go over Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. A lot of biblical scholars actually call this like the pivotal moment or the cornerstone in this book. It is such an important verse. So let's read it out loud and kind of discuss it and break it down a little bit. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So again, here's that fear of the Lord. To reiterate what we talked about earlier, fear is not telling us to be scared. It's telling us to have immense respect. Solomon is the author of this verse, and he is warning us to put things in proper order. Again, the fear of the Lord is just the beginning, but it should also be the place of priority in our lives. Only then can we obtain knowledge and wisdom if we have that fear of the Lord as the priority in our lives. We have to make sure that we don't let this knowledge or this wisdom overtake the Lord in our priorities. So a lot of us know a lot of things. That does not make us wise. Our true wisdom must be rooted in our fear of the Lord. Proverbs 1 verse 7, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Again, this passage is not referring to fear in terms of being scared or implying that he is dangerous, but in the sense of having reverence and the utmost respect for God and His Word. As a Christian, I feel that it is my duty to do more than just know His Word. We must believe it is true, trust Him always, and obey Him unconditionally. And I truly believe that that's where our wisdom is going to come from. There's only one person in this whole world that knows everything, and it certainly isn't me. And sorry to break it to you, but it isn't you. It's God. I am just so thankful that we serve an all-knowing God and that His truths and His advice and His wisdom are just readily accessible to us through His Word and through prayer. It's just up to us to grow our faith and to spend our time in His Word and in prayer. All right, guys, that wraps up everything I had for you today for our brief study into Proverbs. I hope that you enjoyed it and hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, comments, or anything you want to discuss, please feel free to talk about it in the comments. Again, please just be respectful of opinions, and if you have a recommendation for next Wednesday of certain scripture that you want to discuss, I will definitely take any recommendations.